Namaste. Gems from Savitri. There is a question that people ask that we cannot meditate, we cannot do anything. Is there a hope for people like us also? I cannot even call the Divine Mother. I forget to offer. I can't read Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Very difficult. But somehow I have enrolled the name in the book of devotees. I go to the ashram, touch or wherever one is, or if nothing, at least a photograph is there, 2 minutes. एक घड़ी या दो घड़ी आधो में पुनियात तुलसी संगति साधु की हरे कोटि अपराध. So Sri Aurobindo says that always he gives us hope. There are two ways. Of course, if we are conscious and consciously engaged in yoga, it's wonderful. But even when we are not conscious, but we have connected ourselves. Of course, even when we have not connected ourselves, there is a subconscious yoga going on in whole humanity. That's why there is hope. Why? Because, very simple, God is everywhere. Of course, if you do it consciously, it's wonderful. But He is everywhere, He is doing the yoga, He is carrying this earth upwards towards its predestined goal. So, here in this particular passage, Sri Aurobindo answers or beautifully reveals to us that what happens when we are covered so much with darkness that we don't even know. There are a lot of people who don't even know about God, about transformation, yoga. So, what happens to them? So, here is an answer. See, we give up hope, and here the Lord gives us always more and more hope. Even when we fail to look into our souls. First of all, hardly anybody tries. But even those who try 1 odd day, 2 days, and it's a very difficult give up. Sometimes people strive for long and they have some glimpse or the other. Even when we fail to look into our souls or lie embedded in earthly consciousness, people for whom only the physical is real, nothing else. Still have we parts that grow towards the light. It's the seed which is buried inside. Still, because the seed is there, we may not know, we may pass over it. Still, it is seeking the light, and slowly, by the fact of being buried under the earth, through a very long, slow process, its outer crust is getting more and more weaker. It is being called by the light. So, even then, yet are there luminous tracts and heavens serene, and Eldorados of splendor and ecstasy, and temples to the Godhead none can see. Where are they? They are within us. You see, that's why you have these temples located in the mountains as a symbol. Within us there is a part. So as an Indian, we can say, where is Amarnath? Hamari bhumi par hai. It's in our land. Have you seen it? No, I have not seen it. It's there. So similarly within us there are high peaks, beautiful temples, mountain ranges which we are not aware of, and we are drawn towards that. How are we drawn toward that? You see, we can take the same analogy. There are two ways. One is there are people who sit into the train and they sleep off. Does it mean they don't travel? No, they still travel. The train is carrying them. Similarly, before one goes to, let us say, Kailas Mansarovar and actually does the yatra, what do? You think, oh, I wish. Your wish, imagination, you are seeing the picture, they are all preparing you for that great journey. So always there is in us something which is drawn toward that. Sometimes not by the name of God, it is like perfect life, ideal world, perfect love, perfect joy. Oh, what are these? These are again seekings and strivings for that. So still we have parts that grow towards the light. A shapeless memory lingers in us still. There is within us the memory of that first descent when the soul leaped into this darkness. So something which remembers, आए तो वहाँ से थे. Somewhere our home. So we are all the time trying to find where is our home, where is our home. In childhood we think this is my home. Then we grow up and realize, no, this is not where the way I would like it to be. So people get married. Now I have found home. Then after a few years they say, "Arey, phas ke kahan?" So where is the home? So after some time they say, "Okay, we'll go to the ashram." Now I am got a room and that's my home. That is also not your home. After some time you begin to feel, "Arey." Ultimately you discover here is the home. Mother is the home. So that's how the journey. There is something. Why? Because this is the memory. See, behind all this, what is there? Parents are ideal, perfect, they are gods. Then I'm married. Oh, my friend, my wife, husband is ideal and God. But tall order, no? Don't try to, poor fellow will finish off. Huh? A human being. So then after some time, oh, now I have gone to a perfect place, utopia. The moment I join ashram, everybody will be devata. Every day I'll see all the great gods of the Indian pantheon. I realize नहीं है, इधर भी नहीं है. कहाँ है? अरे, mother has been telling since long, here, seek me here, find me here. Then you discover, अरे, असल तो यहाँ खोजना है. Everything else is a help. That's what we were seeking. This is that thou seekest, O Svetketu. The divine presence in the heart. So that's the home. So he says, and sometimes a shapeless memory lingers in a still, and sometimes when our sight is turned within. Once in a while, and sometimes when our sight is turned within, earth's ignorant veil is lifted from our eyes. There is a short miraculous escape for a moment. How to turn within? Take the help of imagination, please. At least it will open a road. I don't know, I am trying. The more you try, the harder it gets. Your trying becomes a veil. Take the help of a beautiful passage. Imagine a lovely, beautiful road full of light going towards the light, source of light, and the divine carrying you in his lap, the mother walking with you through all the forest, through everything. Mother says imagination is a power, it has the key, it can open the path, it's given to man. So many ways, one of the ways that I'm saying. So there is a time when there is a short miraculous escape. And then when you come back, you say, so nice, so beautiful. This narrow fringe of clammed experience we leave behind, meted to us as life, our little walks, our insufficient reach, our souls can visit in great, lonely hours, still regions of imperishable light. So one of the signs that one is ready for the spiritual life is that one wants to be alone. Why? Because otherwise you're always surrounded, crowded with people. And we call it life, it's death actually. So to seek that moment when one is all alone and then say, now I can turn to you and meet my beloved within. Within us there are still regions of imperishable light. Namaste.